The Epstein scandal and Donald Trump's cover-up of it went completely nuclear this week, not only with the release of new pictures from CNN showing Jeffrey Epstein as an honored guest at Donald Trump's second wedding, but also with the Wall Street Journal's bombshell reporting that Trump was told in May by Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice that his name was all over those Epstein files. Donald Trump, of course, is not taking this new information well. He had his hoggish little communications director, Stephen Chung, come out and say, "This is another fake news story, just like the previous story by the Wall Street Journal." But no, it's not. In fact, this story from the Wall Street Journal actually confirms the reporting that had come out, late last week, telling us that the DOJ instructed the FBI to go through the Epstein files and flag everything with Trump's name in it. So, no, this is all corroborating everything. It's not fake. It's actually further proof that everything we've heard up to this point has actually been true, Stephen. There's a big difference. More on this story in just a second, but first, a quick word from today's video sponsor. By now, you know Trump's big, beautiful bill has passed. But almost no one's reporting how ICE will get nearly $40 billion of our tax money each year, making it the most heavily funded law enforcement agency in U.S. history. That's more money than most nations spend on their entire military. So much of our media is either missing the worst of this bill or twisting the language so you think it's all in your best interest. But we've seen the ICE raids ramping up. Now Trump's openly threatening to deport U.S. citizens. This should be the biggest story in America, yet it's buried. Making ground news essential right now is what all of this is doing. They're the only tool I've found exposing these blind spots in the media. By gathering the world's news in one place, organizing it by story, then analyzing just how far-right and radical each unbiased source actually is, you get way more context than you ever would anywhere else. If we're being honest, we've seen Trump's power grabs throughout history. They said never again, and that means never again everywhere. And right now, it's happening here. So if you want to stay ahead on immigration, the economy, or simply finding the stories missing from your news feeds, Ground News has you covered. Their app and website is a smarter, more reliable way to stay informed at a time when MAGA is banking on us to stay distracted. So I've partnered with them to get you 40% off the same Vantage plan that I have been using. That comes out to $5 a month for unlimited access to everything I've mentioned, and so much more. Just go to ground.news/Farron or scan the QR code to subscribe. With at least another 4 years of this, we can't afford to miss these details. Now, I have to hand it to the Wall Street Journal, right? They are facing a $10 billion lawsuit from Donald Trump over the story they published last week of Donald Trump's little doodle and his secret birthday message to Jeffrey Epstein, which, by the way, we're going to have a segment coming up on this over the weekend, but just to kind of let everybody know, the lawyer for the survivors, Epstein's victims, they came out and they said, we have the card. Like, we have that birthday note that Trump did, and we'll gladly make it public if we need to. So, also a horrible thing. Again, more on that coming up in a segment over the weekend. But right now, everything is blowing up in Donald Trump's face. All the whispers, all of the rumors, all of the, maybe this happened has now been corroborated, okay? Like, that's what I think MAGA needs to understand at this point. There's no more hearsay. There's no more speculation. These things have now been confirmed. Donald Trump is not only at the heart of the scandal, he is the guy orchestrating the cover-up of it. There is no escaping this. Trump and Epstein joined at the hip for decades. We have learned more about Epstein and Trump in the last 2 weeks than we have in the last 20 years, folks. And I think at this point, we are starting to see a lot more MAGA folks kind of come around to that and realize, uh-oh, Are we the baddies? Are we the guys that have been supporting the kind of person we've claimed to hate for so many years? Yeah, you are. But I'm glad you're finally coming to that realization. At least some of you are. But here's the big question. How long can a scandal last? Right? It's an important question because we're in July of 2025. The nation doesn't go to vote again as a whole until November of 2026. Even the Capitol riot, like the scandal, the fallout from that, didn't last a year. I know some people may argue, but no, they had the hearings. Sure, they had the hearings. The public stopped caring, though. And they actually held most of the hearings in secret, which was very dumb, but okay. Does this scandal ultimately hurt him in the long run? And the answer is both yes and no. Yes, there will be people who have supported Donald Trump for years that finally say, this is it, enough is enough, I'm done, and they'll be done forever. There are also other people in the same situation that have supported him for years that are now saying, enough is enough, I can't do this, but 1 month from now, 2 months from now, a year from now, they'll be right back in his corner. So ultimately, it does hurt Donald Trump, but not as much, I think, as it should. Like, if this scandal broke next year at this time, then yes, absolutely, that's going to play a massive role in the midterms. Democrats going to sweep the whole damn thing. Happening now, however, it gives people time to forget. It gives the scandal time to die down. Because eventually, we're not going to keep having new revelations. And once the new revelations stop, once Donald Trump moves on to a new scandal or new horrible thing, as he's trying to do every day, but it's not working, people drop off. People forget about it. And then when they look back on it, they're like, well, maybe it's not as bad as I thought it was. And if you don't believe me, please understand this is coming from over 2 decades of experience in political media. I've seen this happen with scandal after scandal, administration after administration. This is the cycle. It is predictable. It is something we have seen so many times, those of us that have been doing this for decades, as I have. Most people will move on from this scandal before the end of the year, and that is probably one of the most disappointing things about it. Thanks for watching today, everybody, and don't forget, if you're not already, please do subscribe to this channel. We have fresh content going up every single day, and I would really hate for you to miss out on that. And speaking of missing out, if you're not following me across all other social media outlets, then get on it. You can follow the links in the description of this video.